morning, everybody. Headed to the office here on a Monday, and I want to chat about margin. Thinking about margin in your life, and specifically margin that's in your finances. A business can't survive if it doesn't have margin. You've got to sell and create margin greater than your expenses. And all too oftentimes I see friends, family, people talking about money, and they're not addressing the right topics or the right behaviors and thinking about it, because you have to create margin. You have to create slack in the line. And there's a couple different ways to do that. It depends on what school of thought you want to come from, right? There's a lot of teachers out there. If you go the path of Dave Ramsey, which I think there's some good things in there, right? It's about eliminating debt, especially consumer debt. I don't necessarily agree with cutting up every last credit card, but if it's a problem you have with discipline, then find a way to get discipline. If he says beans and rice and beans, cutting back, working within a budget for 6 months of paying, so you can pay down any sort of debt and then have the flexibility you need. Because the reason I think about margin and why it's so important is because there's going to come a point in your life where you want to make a choice, or you're going to need to make a jump, or you're going to need to make maybe a big move, and that might have some risk involved. And what you've got to be able to do, or what's been helpful for me, is you've got to be able to stomach that risk somehow. And for me and my family, that's been because we've had a cushion, because we've been able to play out some of the other scenarios, right, and create margin. The other side, the other school of that thought, right, go to the path of like Grant Cardone. And it's, you can only cut so much. At some point, you've got to grow your income. You've got to grow the inflows. You've got to create multiple sources of income. And so that one to me is about, the intentionality of the ask, the product you're delivering to your employer, or if you've got the gusto to start something and create another stream. But either way, you've got to create more margin in your life, specifically financially. Because that margin is going to lead to flexibility. That margin is going to lead to just the ability to make a choice. Otherwise, we're going to run into another scenario, which we were in 10 years ago, which was everybody's fat and happy. Everybody's running at Redline. Everybody's spending every last dollar they have. And the air comes out of that balloon. And it typically comes out a lot harder and faster than it goes in. So, when you're taking a look at this stuff, find ways, create margin, create opportunity, create difference in what's coming in and what's going out. And start at least just stacking that up a little bit to give yourself some flexibility. Because I got to tell you, it takes a tremendous amount of relief or anxiety off the table. There are ways to do it. It does involve a tremendous amount of discipline, but it's right there in front of you if you want to go get it.